feel this sense of being liberated from something that trapped you earlier? And I don't want to romanticize the awfulness that the three of you have lived through, but I think I kind of understand what Lisa says, because there is that button that kind of goes off and you suddenly wake up and you're suddenly looking at life and yourself in a different way. And did that process happen for you, and how tough was it?
I don't know, I was processing it in a very different way. The year was going along very well for me.
Just hold it a little closer, the mic, yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
So the year was getting along very well for me, and I had a lot of nice things which were happening, a few things up in my career graph, in my personal life. I was really happy. And I was like, I'm getting all the nice things. Where is my big challenge? That's how and it's not that I asked for it. Nobody asks for cancer. But I was ready for it. So I was just so glad that it came up, and I know...
Explain that. I have to stop you.
Yeah.
What do you mean you were ready for it? I mean, what are you women made from?
I tell you.
Like, really, what are you all made from? You're sitting there and pretending it's a maths exam.
Yeah, I tell you. So life is like that, right?
Yeah.
So I practice a beautiful philosophy. It's called Nichiren's Buddhism. And so last year we had this sort of a campaign or an ideology that we were working towards. It was called the Year of Brilliant Achievements. Now, when I was sitting across my comrades and people and practitioners, they said, if you want a brilliant achievement in your life, be ready for a brilliant obstacle. Till the time you don't face something, you can't cross over, right? For you to expand, you need to stretch. And that is a little painful at times. And I was trying to understand it. I was like, okay, chalo, jo bhi bol rahe hain, things were bouncing off my head. Nice things were happening. And that's when I was saying, if it's a year of brilliant achievements, some nice things are happening, where is my brilliant obstacle? And that's when it came. And I don't know, I was just so delusional by the optimism that I had that I was absolutely okay with the entire process. It was as if I was waiting for it to be there in my life so that I can beat the shit out of it. Sorry, I said that.
Yeah,
but
okay. Beat the shit out of it is good. Yeah.
Yeah. So I knew it's not come to sort of get me. I knew that I have to fight it. It's only because if I fight something, and you know, when you are in such circumstances, like you said, it's an opportunity given to you so that you can change something within yourself. Otherwise, if the going is good, you're still the same. You've not changed at all. So this has really been a life-changing and transforming experience.
What was the toughest thing for the three of you? Today, you have crossed that hump. Today, you're sitting here, you're saying, that shit tried to beat me, I beat it instead. But when you didn't know that you would beat it for sure, how did you get through the days? Sonali?
For me, it was not more like, oh my God, I'm going to beat the shit out of it kind of a thing. I didn't feel that negative even at that point of time. And it was not so life-altering or transforming for me, because I think there were certain ways of thinking that I've applied through my career. I started very early in my life, and I've used that path. I do feel that my journey has begun now. Because you go through that, you're in a survival mode and you're going with that rush and everything. Now is where I feel my journey begins. But I also feel that maybe it has altered a lot of people around me.
Explain that.
My family, it has changed everybody in my family in little ways, but still very dynamic ways. And maybe it was meant for that. I don't know, but I just always knew that I was going to learn something from it. I didn't say, oh, it's come to me to teach me something. I said, okay, here is an opportunity. What can I learn from this and move on from there? So it always came from there. I have not been a very religious or a spiritual person. I have never kind of gone and followed a path. In fact, I've stayed away from it. I do certain things, and you're brought up in a certain way, but the fact remains that when I got this disease was the first time I asked myself, whom am I going to turn to? And that's the reality. And I have to confess, I didn't think of any God. I thought of myself. And I looked towards myself, and it all came from there. So I suppose when they say God is within you is true, because that's where
so
the strength
beautifully
came
said.
from.
You kind of discover the me in you, in a sense, Lisa. And all three of you emanate that. You know, I don't know how to explain it, but I think the audience understands. There's an energy to them. There's just this energy, and most of us don't have it. And it's the haircut. I have the haircut almost, but no, but really, I need to go to Anayata to get
Called the
these.
chemo curls.
The beautiful
chemo
chemo
curls. There is a thing called the chemo curls.
I have
We
straightened
call
my
them that.
hair.
Tahira, let me get you on that. What are the chemo curls?
I don't know, but the hair curly when they come back, and it's funny, but I'm liking it. I always had wavy hair. I've straightened my hair today because I know she's going to carry her curls. I was like, let's bring variety.
I mean, I think it takes incredible humor and strength to come up with a phrase called the chemo curls. I mean, that is strength. That is
I've
really...
learned some exciting new terms, which is chemo curls. The other term that somebody had written to me was scanxiety. Amazing term. Because just when that very time for the scan comes, the anxiety that starts building up, scanxiety. Perfect. I'm getting close there now.
No, but Lisa, can you locate this battle in the larger battles that women fight? And I ask you, all three of you, this for a reason, because that you can be fashionable with no hair, with what you call the chemo curls, with showing your scars, is in a sense an ironic contrast, Lisa, to your past battles with anorexia and bulimia. So talk a little bit about that irony, that you went from there to here.
Yeah, I still wanted to pick up a little bit on what both Sonali said and what Tahira said so beautifully. And, you know, this idea of stories. You know, I love when you said that Anayata understood your narrative and your story. That we can be a myriad of things at once. And what tends to happen in our society, not just in India, but in many societies, is we get labeled, right? You're glamorous, so this is what you're capable of, and nothing else. And we don't tend to, you know, dig deeper. And fortunately, I think that now we are living in a time where we're forcing people to dig deeper. We're forcing people to re-look at us. Like, look at me. You know, I also have a wonderful story with Anayata, which is very similar to yours, Sonali. She was
I need
also
a story too soon. I need to catch
I
up
need to
with
call
you.
Anayata back
the
on
first,
stage.
I know
but
we
yeah.
have to. The first woman to also get me to sort of pose also, and completely bald and in these beautiful kind of gorgeous gowns and things like that. And it was kind of punky. And I looked at those images and I said, I love this. This is me. Finally, I see me in this image, not the representation of who you think I am or other people. You know, in our profession, everyone else is deciding who you are.
Yeah.
And finally, to be honest, again, cancer was a way of liberating myself from those perceptions which were outside myself, but also internally as well, to be completely honest. I'd internalized opinions about who I am and things like that. So basically, what was your question?
It doesn't matter.
I can go on and on.
No, my question was, when you juxtapose this with previous life battles with body image.
Yes.
There is an irony
This
there,
was
right?
there's a great irony, and in fact, you know, because as part of my treatment, I was on very heavy steroids, and I had gained literally about 40 pounds, and so my big coming out moment, I chose the red carpet at the Toronto International Film Festival. At that moment, I had been diagnosed literally 2 months before I was invited. And so I had a new body, and it was very harrowing. What do we do, right? The red carpet is a very harrowing place for women. You're just dissected, and you're criticized, and all of this stuff. And I had always felt very deeply uncomfortable with that. And I said, you know what? Now's my chance. I'm going to subvert this moment. I'm going to take all of that and turn it on its head and stand there in my new body and say, this is who I am. I'm 40 pounds overweight, but I'm fighting for my life, and you have to listen to me now, because I'm actually going to talk about something that is deeply important to me personally, that is going to affect a lot of people, and it isn't just about the latest product or the latest film or something that is, you know, that's part of the industry that we are in. But what's wonderful is then we have a platform, and maybe that's, again, a part of our story and our narrative that links us all. When you have a platform, and that we have an opportunity to leverage that platform and stand there. So you see, you can't disassociate, exactly as you said, Sonali. We can't completely deny that part of ourselves that has given us a platform so that we can stand here or sit here and speak to all of you lovely people about what we're going through.
But I do
so
want
thank
to,
you.
I do want to ask you, Tahira, how it can't be as I won't say easy, it couldn't have been like, I don't know I don't know what word I should use, but you actually, all three of you, make it sound easy, your battle. And that's why I call this panel, these are our women warriors. I call them women warriors because to me they're warriors. And you make it sound easy. I can't believe you did not have nights of anxiety, of panic, of cynicism, of loneliness.
No, of course. I mean to say, going through a mastectomy and a reconstruction, the entire process is pretty much devastating for anyone. Honestly speaking, when I was told about my cancer, I was okay. I don't know why, but I was okay. But once the doctor told me that I'll need to have to sort of undergo a mastectomy, and that's what really got to me. That was a very big shock to me because that's how we associate feminism with. That's become a body, and there's lots which is attached to a female's assets.
Yeah. So did you feel your sense of
it's sort of an identity to them.
So did you feel your sense of sexuality in a sense being taken away from you?
That was secondary. To begin with, something which belonged to me was going away.
Yeah.
Second of it was like the world sort of views you as bum, asses and boobs. That is also going away. Then there's so much, So then once that came, I remember my husband was right here, the doctor was right here. He was like, there's good news and bad news. Good news is you have stage 0 cancer. And bad news is mastectomy. And so I just look at my husband and I had sort of tears started welling up. And that's when he said, he was like, are you freaking mad? You were okay when you got to know about cancer. And this is what is getting to you. What's more important? And I was like, yeah, right. What's more important? Like, it's about time. I also opened my sort of horizons.
Yeah.
And I am very happy to tell you that I did not cry. And very happily I went for the mastectomy.
You did not cry?
And the reconstruction. No, I didn't cry. I didn't cry. No. But I can very much relate to what Sonali is saying about the scanxiety.
Canxiety.
What?
Yeah.
Scanxiety. So it's actually not putting, I think anyone who's gone through such an ordeal is a warrior. So some people have succumbed to it. Some people have gone through it. For some people it's come back. All of us put together. So it's not the three of us as special. I guess everybody has a story to tell and everybody is special. But it's just like, even I've also forgotten what Lisa was like. I lose track of my thought. But yeah, I've forgotten what I was trying to say.
I agree with what she's saying. It's the same thing.
I love how all of you go start somewhere. It's like, what were you talking
No, but this is
about?
also fogging. It's called a chemo fog. You lose track.
We can use it. We can use it now.
And I abuse it.
Okay, Sonali, you wanted to come in.
I agree with what Tahira said. It was like the diagnosis of cancer was fine, but it's when eventually we realized we will have to go through the surgery and it's going to be like literally more than a 20-inch scar. Half of me is going to be cut open and etc., etc. I was like, but you said we could do robotics or something and I wouldn't have that scar. And again, in the same way, Goldie is looking at me and he's like, we've been through this. You've gone through so much, so beautifully. I'm just looking at you like, what is this woman? And now you're worried about a scar. And I'm like, hello, here I am going back into the pattern. In fact, backstage I did that. I went and there was this vent of, air. And I'm like, my hair, it's all spoiled.
I've been doing that all day, trust me.
I didn't have hair. There was no hair. I just should be happy I have hair. And then suddenly, what is it in place? I'm like, how quickly we fall into the vanity of it all.
Yeah. And I just want to open this up for questions. And I thought, can I, because all three of them have spoken about you, can I just ask you to maybe come up here and talk a little bit about how, beauty in a sense can be totally redefined. And it's really that fluid. And I mean, I know Sandeep's here, maybe he wants to add a question. And any of you have questions, you can squeeze in with the beauties, yes. So share the mic and tell us what
the earlier session when she was saying that how Anaita tells stories with her pictures and with fashion.
Yeah. So Anaita, here are these three incredible women. And how do you make them not lose their sense of self?
Firstly, I still have goose flesh just sitting with them. Okay?
It's incredible.
You guys are freaking amazing.
Amazing. Absolutely.
Oof, look at this. I'm dying. God, real warriors. But I have to say, like I was saying earlier in our session, for me, it's about working with real people. That's the actual high, the actual energy to understand what, I could do at that moment. And I think people underestimate the power of fashion and the power of clothing. And I think it comes back to that. It's all emotion. You know, when you look at an old sari from your mother's, it doesn't matter how much it costs. It still feels precious and you don't want it to tear. Or, you know, like last night I went to someone's 60th birthday party and I put on a pendant my mother-in-law gave me. It's emotional. And I think working with these women is extremely special. But I have to tell you all this, because I'm sure you've read Lisa's book, and if you haven't, you're very foolish not to. Please buy it and read it. Because I feature in it, you know, that's the important part. So, this particular day, you know, we were all going to go up. It was around Lisu's birthday. And I said, you know, we'll shoot in the day, and then in the evening, we're just close friends. Do you want to tell the story?
No, you tell the story.
No, go for it. Go for it.
It might be different for her.
It's okay. Go for it.
And I have to say, I don't have great body confidence. I fake it, okay? And we were there, and we had a pool party, and we had a few drinks, and it just felt so special to have her alive that we all stripped and swam naked.
That's a good story.
It was
is
like,
that in the
you
book?
know what?
Is that story in the book? I know it is.
That's what I'm saying, can I tell it, or do you have to buy the book? So, you know, it's about those moments. And for me, it doesn't matter if it made it to a book or not. Because the fact that I could share that with her, and I think even similarly with her, I remember her calling me and saying, you know, Anaita, I want to do this shoot, and of course I want to look good, but at the same time, I don't want to forget this moment. I think that was a very important point.
It's so beautiful. If I can, like, what's so beautiful? Oh my God, she still really has good flesh. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Love this woman so much. I think we've known each other for, I don't know, 30 years.
We're not that old.
But yeah,
10.
We're not that. Yeah, we started very young. Let's make that clear. I think what was beautiful, and that evening always stayed with me. But why it's also beautiful is because it fell within the realm of healing.
Yeah.
So I think that was very powerful what you said, Sonali, as well, because you know there's one thing about being diagnosed and then being in basically. Crisis mode, right?
Yeah.
We're in crisis mode. You're like just fighting for your life.
Yeah.
And the adrenaline's going. And then when you come out of the hospital, you're like, okay, everything's okay, you're going to live.
Yeah.
That is really, really tricky.
Yeah.
That's tricky.
It's tricky. Why is it tricky?
That's very topography to negotiate, and that is when the real healing begins. Yeah. And it was things like that evening that I spent together with old friends. And I had to actually understand, although I understood in a moment, this is a great thing about cancer, gave me great clarity.
Clarity, absolutely,
and
clarity.
what's not, right? And all the stuff that's not important, all the bullshit just goes. Yeah. And what's important, you spend time with your friends, you laugh, you don't take yourself so seriously, and chocolate.
Extraordinary. And chocolate. Okay. I'll take one question. And Sandeep, if you wanted to add something that you're thinking, please feel free. The girl in the pink there, but how do I get you the mic? The hall is so packed. Okay, I'm going to have to try and do something.
That's so amazing that it's packed.
I mean, look at this packed hall. They've all come for these extraordinary women.
You.
Absolutely extraordinary women. It's
Thank you so much.
It's filled to the gills, like there is no room to even stand. Someone had a question. Go for it. Yeah.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but you need to hold the mic like here. Yeah.
Better?
Yeah.
So my question is to all three of them, and this is because I have fought cancer myself twice.
Come up here. Come up here, come up here. Please make way for her to come up.
Yeah.
That's not his name. What's your name?
My name is Rucha.
Yeah. And tell us. And thank you for sharing your story. Come, sit here.
Okay, thanks. So when I got an invite to this session today, I wasn't sure if I would come, but then I wanted to really ask you three this, and I couldn't think of a better opportunity but to do this.
Can you tell us about yourself first?
Sure, sorry.
What's your name?
My name is Rucha.
Rucha,
And you said you were diagnosed with cancer.
Yes.
What
so,
kind of cancer, if I can ask?
Yeah, so it was breast cancer. I was diagnosed in December 17, and sorry.
I just need to take your phone away.
It was stage 3 when I was diagnosed, actually late stage 3, and I underwent a lumpectomy, radiation, chemo, the normal trifecta. The works. Absolutely, the works. And this year I relapsed again, and thankfully I got caught in stage 0, but we did a mastectomy. So my question to you is, how do you wake up every morning, look yourself in the mirror, and fall in love with yourself again? Because that's something that I'm struggling with every day.
Ruja, you're a very strong woman. You're a very, very strong woman to begin with. And honestly speaking, I want to bring in here mental well-being and health.
Yeah.
I was completely on the opposite side of the spectrum. I was a very unhappy person. There was a lot of negativity in my life. I used to begrudge a lot. I used to complain a lot. I was a size 8. I'm a size 10 right now. I had long hair, and still I would get complexed about going to parties with my husband or for movie nights or someplace. I just used to clamp up. I used to think the world is going to judge me, though nobody bothered about it. But there were a lot of conspiracy theories going on in my head. And I feel at times a lot of illnesses, a lot of diseases, it is a manifestation of your negativity. I don't know, there is no logic to it.
But there is a connection between
But there is a
mental
huge connection
optimism.
between mental health, well-being, and your physical well-being. You need to be really happy in there for not to get screwed out here. So and that sort of optimism I really got through my practice, which I was speaking about. But everybody has their story and everybody has that anchor. You need to force yourself, fake it till you make it. You have to love yourself. There's no two ways about it. You're the only person who's going to be closest to yourself for the rest of your life. Neither it's your husband nor your kids. You got to be, it's your body that's going to be with you. Yeah. And you have to have an amazing association with your body. You got to love yourself. I also have days right now, I still, it's my tendency to go back to sadness and depression. So if there is a low point in my life or something, immediately that self wants to sort of pull me down. And I know there are a lot of people who are suffering because once I opened up, I got to know. But at that time, I thought I was the only one. And even though I had all educated people around me, I still thought that no one is going to understand. And I sort of, it's a tough time. I don't even go back to those memories. But cancer was not as tough as the negativities in my head were.
Yeah.
That was something terrible.
Exactly. So thank you. Thank you for coming up and sharing your story. And you're going to be well and fine.
So,
and thank you very much. Yeah. And I'm out of time. We could go on. Come, thank you. We could go on all evening listening to these wonderful women, the women we call women warriors. There's Tahira exhorting Ruja to love herself. Thank you. Thank you. I just want to call on stage one of our partners of the festival, MQ. Dr. Dabar, where are you? Sir, please, if we can have you on stage, because we want to take this moment to actually honor these women warriors. And I thought if I can ask you to step off. We have an award, the Her Award. Her is Hope, Empower, Rise. I think nobody deserves it better than these three extraordinary women. Can we please give it up for Tahira, Lisa, Sonali? May I ask you to come to the front of stage, and may we take this opportunity to honor you. But before I do that, I have some questions. Could I ask all three of you to come here? Women in cancer, something we don't talk about enough. And one of the confusions that I know a lot of people feel is early screening good, not good? People are confused about this, sir. What would you say?
There are few cancers where they have shown that early screening is useful. Breast cancer is one of them. More important than that is the cervical cancer. It is believed that any lady who gets a cervical cancer, that means we have failed in screening that lady, because it's totally a preventable disease. If you can screen the cervical cancer first, I think so no lady should be getting a cervical cancer. And one message I would like to give you all, as you all heard from the previous speakers, you all are the homemakers. So you are the pillars. So be good with yourself and you take part in screening programs. Don't think that, oh, my husband is going to come late, so I won't eat now. You are hungry, eat your food. Take care of yourselves. And then only you can take part in those screening programs. This is one message I would like to give you all.
And to that extent, when you heard all three of them, what would you like to say? What did you feel about hearing them as a doctor?
Well, for us, what do we mean by cancer survivor? Any patient who is receiving treatment is a cancer survivor. But these people are beyond that. They have got a degree. So they have graduated themselves from cancer survivors, and they are far ahead. They have gone far ahead. So we respect them.
Thank you so much. And I think this
Thank
is
you
so
so much.
important.
Thank you.
Screening cancers, many cancers are preventable. Yes, these women are extraordinarily brave, they're warriors, but try and not get to that point in life where you have to find that kind of courage. Thank you, Dr. Dabar. I'm now going to ask you to do the honors. Please, I just really, this is one of my favoritist panels, and I want us all to have thunderous applause for these wonderful women. And yes, a standing ovation is called for. I agree. Dr. Dabar, may I ask you to honor each one of them? Sonali, Bendre, all right, wait, they want a photograph. Sonali, Bendre, come on, let's hear it for Sonali. Let's hear it, sir. Can we ask you to honor Lisa now? Let's hear it for Lisa Ray. And Tahira Kashyap. Let's hear it for Tahira Kashyap. And I want this applause to be thunderous because these are incredible women. Absolutely. Okay, they want a photograph. Can we? Sir, come, please. Thank you. It's been incredible listening to you all. I don't know where you find this courage from. Thank you. And from me, I've done nothing.
I was just telling her she inspired me to take up journalism. Once I saw her, I was like, actually, I did a master's in mass communication and journalism, though I'm not following it right now, but she was.
Thank you. That's lovely to hear.